Hello, we are United by Red Sports, the least weekly sports podcast in the world that's occasionally once a month, twice a week, once an hour.
I want to
Who knows?
miss the football. Don't
Well,
make it out to be. Somebody had
you
to.
did,
Somebody's got to attend the Grand Prix, so there be no crowd.
there is this, and you did do a very good job of videoing some things, and occasionally you even got a car in the shot. So you promised people you would do a video.
I tried to do that thing. There was a cameraman in front of me with the proper cameraman, and he was there. And as they were coming around the first corner, he was like practicing his move. So I was following him. Yeah, I can't do it.
You've got the reactions of a pensioner.
The thing is, by the time I'm looking where the car is, I'm looking and then I'm following, and the car's on, my phone's in a different direction. I'm like, well, I can't do. Yeah, that's not going down on my resume as one of my jobs. Not being a cameraman at Formula One.
You said you would try, and you did, and we did get some footage of you actually in Singapore. So before we kind of move on, how was it all?
I always said I'd never go to Silverstone because Silverstone would be a disappointment. Silverstone is miles better than Singapore, I think, as a Grand Prix. As a track, I think it's better. As an event, I think it's better. And it lacked a bit of crowd, if you know what I mean. There was no partisan crowd because there's no home driver type thing. It lacked that sort of atmosphere. British Grand Prix, obviously 2 or 3 British drivers in the field. Every time a British driver goes past, everyone stands up, everyone's clapping, cheering. It lacked that for me. There was no home hero to support, so there was no home crowd sort of bringing the event alive. It was a bit flat in the crowd. It's not the greatest race, is it? I think the track's very nice. The area around the track's beautiful. The weekend was perfect in every way. People couldn't do enough for you. Very clean, very set up, but not the most exciting race to start to go to. And I would go to Silverstone at the drop of a hat. I don't think I'll ever go to the Singapore Grand Prix again. It just didn't set me alight, really. It wasn't quite what I expected. So, yeah.
So you've been back for 2.5 minutes, and all you've done is British bias. Well done, you. You are now hated by everybody on the internet.
I think if there was a Singapore home driver, it might bring the crowd alive a little bit, or a local driver. But yeah, it was just a bit. It felt like we were watching Sunday cricket. Just a bit like no one really cares. They've just gone for a beer type of a, get away from the missus for 2 days. It just didn't seem like anyone was vested in the outcome really. And that was like nothing wrong with it. Like I say, as a place to go and a Grand Prix, it was perfectly laid on. There was no queuing to get in or out. There was no problems. It was perfectly put on. It's just not the most exciting Grand Prix to attend.
And it wasn't the most exciting Grand Prix on track, let's be honest.
No. I mean, the best action came when Liam Lawson crashed a couple of times. Yeah, I mean, during the race, I think we saw one overtake at turn 1. I think Alonso did one. That pretty much summed up the weekend. There was just no real excitement. I think if I go to one again, it would have to be either an old school track like Silverstone type, or somewhere with a home hero. Somewhere I'd love to go to Austria. We're talking about where we're going to go next year because it's going to become a regular thing. We're talking about potentially doing a back-to-back Silverstone Austria next year, something like that, where there's just a bit of atmosphere and a bit of a bite to the weekend. I think, So I think next year that'll definitely be where we look to change what we do.
But Singapore did nicely lead to me on to one of my gripes in the sporting world. And I'm not going to use their terminology because I hate it and it makes my skin crawl. But McLaren, what are you playing at?
I think I said on here a few weeks ago they're in danger of throwing this title away by being indecisive and poorly managed, and I think it's continued, hasn't it? It's just continuing all the way through.
I mean, you've been on holiday for 2 weeks, so you may or may not have missed the sporting repercussions for Lando Norris's not fault driving in Singapore. But the repercussions are vague and nobody knows what they are.
Oh,
But
the funny thing is that Hulkenberg harpooned 2 McLarens yesterday or today or whatever day the race was run, and it was classed as a racing incident. Yet Lando touched the wheel of Oscar mildly while coming off a pavement with a car on the inside of him or just in front of him, and there's supposed to be repercussions for this. I can't see how one's a racing incident and the other one's the worst thing to happen in Formula One since Michael Schumacher ran into Damon Hill or something. It just seems very.
We are going back in time.
One extreme to the other. I mean, I'm not being funny. It's a good job I'm not Oscar's teammate because I'd have pipped him into a wall half a dozen times by now. It's just he's lucky he's got Lando as a teammate because he's quite polite and quite they've just gone. They've been very vague with it, gone over the top. It's like they're playing to the media, aren't they? We are sorting this out. We are putting a stop to this. This will never happen again. I mean, if you're Zach Brown, just come out and tell everyone to keep the nose out. What's he got to do with anyone else?
But the thing is, though, they say it won't happen again. But 2 weeks later, we get to the start of the American sprint. And as much as you said it was Hulk's fault, it's not. Oscar decides to turn left as though there's nobody else on the track. It's just his road. He can do what he wants.
Hulk's never stopping, is he?
I mean, yes, he's made that corner perfectly. Fine. That's all on Oscar, completely. 100%. He just missed a turn.
I'm not there on that one. Hulk's going way too fast.
Oh no, man in Formula One car drives quickly. That's not allowed.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're in danger of giving Max a chance, aren't they?
Well, I think if he wins tonight, tomorrow morning, this afternoon, I can't deal with this being in America.
I don't even know when the race is on, mate, to be fair. I just put the telly on and see if there's any cars on track. That's all I can do.
So, I mean, if he wins
3 a.m. for me, the race or something.
I don't even know what time it is for me, so Christ knows what. It's 8 p.m. for me, so it's whatever that is for you.
3 a.m. for me, yeah. I was considering. It's been a busy weekend of sport, so I've already watched NFL. I've watched 2 sessions of Formula One. I've watched the UFC, which is now on for 6 hours. Don't know why. 6 hours. 6 hours and 42 minutes the program for the UFC was from last night. Which, to be fair to it, was absolutely brilliant. Every fight other than the main fight was epic. The Premier League's returned from international break, and the Australian Football League has just started this weekend. So I've literally watched sport from waking up Friday morning to today. That's all that's been on my TV, trying to catch up on everything. So my plan today was NFL's on tonight. Is it London again tonight?
I don't know. I'm confused.
There's an early kick-off tonight. It's in Europe. I don't know if it's London or Germany. So there's NFL on in about 2 hours. Then there's Man United on against Liverpool 2 hours after that. And then there's the race on 2 hours after that. And I was sort of toying with the idea of going straight through. I've not decided on the Formula One yet. I've cancelled my golf tomorrow because I'm a very busy sports person. I've had to cancel my golf because, I've got a lot to do tonight, a lot of work to do watching sport. So I've cancelled my golf and moved that to Wednesday. So I may go straight through and watch the Man U Liverpool game into the Formula One and go to bed at 5 a.m. for...
That's not happening in a man of your age. Sorry.
No, it's not. Most people my age aren't sleeping long, but I'm sleeping more than ever. But yeah, so it's just a mad weekend of sport. Having gone from last weekend where there seemed to be nothing to watch to, like I said, I must have watched 20 hours of sport more this weekend, easily.
And there's not really a lot happened, let's be honest. We've had McLaren basically fudging their way through a Formula One weekend that they're probably going to ruin and end up in a hedge.
I mean, would McLaren be the first team ever to win back-to-back constructors' titles and not win a championship?
Ooh, you're testing my knowledge now. Probably. If I say probably, that gives me scope to
It's a decent feat to win the constructors and not get a driver to win the title. To do it back-to-back is almost ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, they should go on and win a driver's title, but they just seem to be fumbling it, don't they? They're almost just going to fall over the line by a point or two. It almost based on if somebody else can take some points off Max, i.e. George Russell last week winning a race, just other people getting involved now and helping out a little bit because McLaren seem hell-bent on making it an exciting title race.
Ridiculous sums up McLaren quite perfectly right now. And I don't make very many notes. I did make one. Are people turning against McLaren now? Middle of last year, McLaren were the loved team. It was somebody to take the fight to Max and Red Bull. Is Zach Brown now turning them into one of the most hated sporting organizations in the world with his ridiculous nonsense PR that we have to keep listening to forever?
Yeah, it's like listening to certain pundits on certain. You just can't listen to Michael Owen because everything he says is just the most drab, boring thing. It's like when he speaks now, Zach Brown. I've always liked Zach Brown, but he's becoming a media PR yes man, isn't he? He's telling the media what they sort of need to hear. You know, if that's my McLaren team, the first thing I'd say is it's got nothing to do with anyone else. We'll deal with it. I don't need to release any statement about what I'm doing to Lando and not doing to Lando. We dealt with in-house, nothing to do with anyone else. Next question, please, move on. But we sort of put this narrative out like we'll show them that we're dealing with it. We'll show them that we're not just letting, this go this way. And, Oscar knows what happened and Lando knows what happened. We all know what happened. We watched it. Nothing really happened, did it? And, had they crashed properly, well, it's your own fault for saying they can race. If they can race, they can crash. If they can crash, they can race. What are we doing here? Are they allowed to race each other, which you say they are? Well, if they are, this is racing. This is what happens when you race each other. Or are they not allowed to race each other, but you need to say that in the media because that's what your PR team are telling you to say?
They are allowed to race under very strict rules that are clearly written somewhere in stone on a wall within McLaren's head office that nobody quite knows what they are.
Written in like Swedish? So that
I think they're written in hieroglyphics at this point.
That's what I mean. You think these are the rules, and both drivers look at it and think, "Well, I can't read that, so I don't fucking know. I'll just race, fuck it, ignore them." And then just get shouted at once. So, I mean, I fell out with this setup in Budapest last year when all that palaver went on. I think me and you had quite different opinions on it, but I said, there's no way in hell, if I'm Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri passes me. It just doesn't. Michael Schumacher doesn't let it happen. Vettel doesn't let it happen. Verstappen doesn't let it happen. And Lando Norris has got to nail it. And he's got to just get on with it and win it. And we've seemed to have snowballed from that. I mean, it happened the other week, didn't it, with the pit stop somewhere. This has got to happen. That's got to happen. Well, it's just becoming a bit of a comedy now, isn't it? The whole McLaren.
Yeah, I mean, it said they were the darlings of Formula One less than 18 months ago, probably less than 12 months ago. Now they're the annoying kids in the corner that are going to win things, but yet we're all bored of listening to them talk about how they're going to win and how they're going to do it fairly.
One thing I have noticed from going to Singapore is people support a team in Formula One, which I find the most bizarre thing in the world. The amount of people I spoke to were Team Ferrari, were Team McLaren. I'm like, what do you mean you're Team McLaren? Do you support a driver? Technically, who comes from your country. If you haven't got one, you'll adopt one. You don't just support McLaren. That's just not a thing. What's going on in the world? You just turn up to support two cars. I mean, so as long as either of them win, you're happy. I just don't get that. That's never been. Maybe it's just me, and that's the way I see sport.
I mean, you don't get the whole team element of Formula One full stop.
No, the whole team element of Formula One is the most ridiculous thing since VAR. It's up there. Teams, McLaren, Formula One teams of VAR, we're about 10 points different. It's just stupid. They just go away with it all, but no one's listening to me.
They're not, and it will continue to be a thing. But in slightly better news.
Go on then, I'll let you go.
I say slightly better news. Are we actually now, though, because McLaren are basically fumbling the football, to use an American terminology, seems we're racing in America this week, is Max about to pick up a fumble and run with it to the end zone? Because is he just going to go...
I did say, I mean, Oscar's gone off the boil, hasn't he? Which I did say early in the season wouldn't happen, so that was bound to happen. He's been too calm, too collected, too good to go off the boil. He's totally gone off the boil. He seems to have, totally lost his edge. The worst thing that could happen is that Max wins this title, really, isn't it? I mean, that's like the worst outcome possible. For Lando not to win would be a disaster. And Oscar to win it, you'd think, shit. But for Max to win this now is just unthinkable, but almost probable now. It just feels like the story, doesn't it? The story is going to be Max comes back and wins from 100 and 7 points behind or whatever it were. It's, I don't know. There just seems an inevitability that McLaren are going to hand this over.
But at least that might make it exciting for the next 6-8 weeks. We might
But we're
actually
English.
have.
We don't want excitement. Whenever we get excitement, it means we end up losing. We want boring 1-0 to the Arsenal. We just want Lando to just pick up 5 points more than Oscar for the next 7 races and win it by 2. I don't want excitement, because if it's exciting, that means we've lost. Again, it's just another penalty shootout and another defeat for the English, isn't it?
But we're used to it by this point, so it's not a surprise anymore, and it's not a. It's natural to us. If you're English, it's natural to know that at the end of a sporting event, it will go wrong. At some point, somehow,
we're
it
like
will
the
have gone
cricket
wrong.
of the sporting world, aren't we? 5 days and it's a draw. Just disappointment. You paid for tickets for 5 days to watch a sport and nobody won. That's basically what we are.
I was watching England for the last 40 years.
I mean, it could be worse. I mean, you could have. You'll understand this better than me because you're a bit more into Formula 1. Why do they change the liveries for certain races, and why are they designed by 2-year-olds?
I don't know. Okay,
what is going on?
I get why sometimes you would do a special livery, but it's got to be for a special occasion.
700th race, or you've just won the title, not because you're just racing at Kota.
Yes, you did it. Well done.
Yes. So it took me 2 years.
So
why has the Red Bull car that's not a Red Bull got gold on it? Why have McLaren just basically painted the nose white, which has made the car look ridiculous, or silver? Williams have done the same. If you're going to do a special livery, make it look nice. Don't just slap some paint on it and think, oh, well, we've put some gold. I mean, somebody said it looked like a turtle and somebody said it looked like lava. I mean, it just looks like a kid's thrown up on it to me. It's fucking horrible.
So the Williams one is a throwback to the 2002 BMW Williams. I don't get why we've done it now, because I don't get what 23 years later has any significance.
Because that was their best car that they won a lot in.
No, it was a terrible car, actually. The 2003 car was better.
Oh, well, I'll celebrate the 2010 World Cup because England didn't qualify then or something. Why are we doing this?
The Red Bull that's not a Red Bull looks like it crashed into the McLaren paint shop halfway to America because it's just orange and black, and I don't get why.
Random bits.
Why is Visa written in bright gold?
Which has never been. I mean, I looked at. I thought, oh well, Google Visa because obviously their color coding must be gold, and it's not.
It's white and blue, isn't it? And yellow, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know why gold. But don't know what we've. None of the colors make sense to me.
The Haas one, they've just put some stars on it because they're in America. Okay, fine. I don't really care. And the Aston Martin, they've found the highlight that Lance Stroll's been colouring with for the last 6 months and drawn all over the car with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And put some weird things on that you can't read.
His paint all over it. So
they've put some equations on the front, haven't they, that you can't read unless it's parked in the pit lane. I'm like, the only time when anyone can't see the car.
I mean,
so it's like.
I don't get why we're doing it. It's becoming a thing in Formula 1 that we change the livery every 4 minutes, which makes them not special because then you're doing it that often. Can we put like a rule in that says you can do this once a year?
Once a season. And it should be like, you can either do it, your home race, fine, I'm all right. If you go to your home race, you want to put a British flag on it, I can give you that. You're a British team anyway. Why have you not got a British flag on there anyway? Why have Haas not got stars on so they're American all season? Why are they just American today? It just, I can't get my head around what's gone on. And then who's done it? Did they not go to the design team and say we need a special livery because we're sponsored by Visa? When he came out with that, did they not say, well, I'm not putting that on my car? It's fucking ridiculous. It's all right, Have they just gone to one of lad's sons and gone, can you just draw me some colours on this car? Oh, sound there, that'll do. It looks a mess.
There's nobody I've spoken to.
With the head of Visa, and I don't know who he is, but he's going to have a lot of money. I said, you're not celebrating my company by doing that. Well, look, right set of chuffs. No way. Idiots, man.
Yeah, there's nobody I've spoken to that likes that car in any way. I just don't.
I don't like any of them. I looked at one of them. I thought, that's a nice celebratory colour for. I don't know why they've done it, and none of them look good. They just look stupid.
And I don't get why everybody's done it on the same weekend. So we've got Alpine, McLaren, Racing Bulls, Aston Martin, and Haas.
there's only one American team in the Haas.
Well, and they're only vaguely American. So I'm not quite sure why we've all picked the American
There's no
Grand
American
Prix.
drivers. There's one American team, and we're all celebrating being in America. We're in America for 3 races a year, so I don't know why we're so excited about it. It's not like we've, it's like we've not been here for 50 years. We're back again in a couple of weeks or next week. So it's just, well, some of it. I mean, so we're saying Hulk's accident wasn't Hulk's fault.
Yeah.
Lance Stroll's accident?
I don't remember.
The overtake on turn 1 from about 400 yards away, harpooned into Gasly.
But in Lance Stroll's defense, he's a talentless moron.
Well, I didn't think you were going to defend him then. When I used to play Formula 1 games, that's the move I would make. When you turn the damage off and you and you knew you couldn't overtake the guy in front, so you just bumped him off the track. I wondered if he'd been like in the simulator with the damage simulation turned off and thought that was a valid move. It was, yeah. He is a talentless moron. He summed that up quite well.
He is, and I find myself having less and less patience for him as the weeks go by because I just think, so Hajar ended up in a wall. Behrman got his or Albon got his lap time deleted. So basically, Stroll beat nobody again.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything. I could do what you're doing. I could be terrible in a Formula 1 car. You could be terrible in a Formula 1 car. My niece could be terrible in a Formula 1 car. Why are you doing it? Why do you get the privilege to it just because your dad's rich? It's fucking ridiculous.
His dad owns the Formula 1 team and some Russian.
I mean, we did away with paid Formula 1 drivers a lot of years ago, but he is the last remnants of a bygone era of I've got money so I can drive. We did away with this because it was causing a lot of damage and people were having crashes every 4 minutes.
I mean, his crash yesterday is just ridiculous. He's like,
he's just ridiculous.
It was funny how there was a wheel missing off his car, so he scarpered down the road so he didn't have to face the guy he crashed into. I was like, well, that's quite cowardly of you. Didn't even get out, so they'd smack you. It was like, I'll just run down it. Oh, my wheel's falling off. I'll park 400 yards down the road so no one can see me. Yeah, it was a really bad accident. But yeah, so I take it Max was going to win then. Is that? Russell nearly got him yesterday and then didn't get him, and that was the end of that.
Because he forgot to brake.
Well, he did to Max what Max does to 99% of other people at that corner, to be fair.
It was quite funny how Max complained about it. No, it was Lando.
Oh, was it Lando last year?
Yeah,
did Russell not do that same move? Last year, there was 2 overtakes at that corner, one on the inside that went wide and one on the outside. Was it Russell, not the other one?
Yes, and he got a penalty for it, I think.
It's quite ironic how Max complained that he didn't make the corner. It was like hot and kettle and all that. I mean, that's even the commentator went, that's Max's signature move. I'm like, even Martin Brundle has called you out on it, and he's the most sit-on-the-fence guy I know.
Yeah. I did find that quite funny for Max to come on the radio and say, well, he's not made the corner. I'm like, well, really? Yeah. Probably shouldn't go down this route.
You only make 45% of the corners in a season, mate. We're starting calling other people out. But yeah, is he going to win?
I think my head says he should, but there's the nagging doubt of it's going to be very hot. Will the tyres hold up for the Red Bull over a long distance? I think if McLaren can if Lando can stick with him in the early phases and not let the gap get too big, this bearing in mind means Lando must make it past turn 1. Apparently not that easy right now.
Again, his start yesterday was shit, weren't it? He just didn't get off the line. And
so if he gets round, halfway around a lap, he's just got to stick with him for sort of 10, 15 laps and then hope that the better tyre wear of McLaren kicks in and he can start to reel him in. If that happens, Lando's got a chance. But there's also a chance he'll be 12th after turn 1 because he's set off badly.
This is Lando right now because Oscar starts 5th, doesn't he?
6th, maybe? 5th, 6th, somewhere around there.
This is a massive, massive chance for you to put a gap between you and Oscar, isn't it? At least 1 car, if not 2. 1st and 4th, 1st and 3rd. It's another chance for Lando, and he seems to have been given quite a few recently to hole 10, 12 points back off of Oscar. So if you're Lando, you've got to find a way to do it.
Yeah, he has to win. Whether he can't do anything about if Oscar comes back to second or third, fine. If it happens, it happens. But he's got to win to make sure he's put the pressure on him. Because if he wins and all of a sudden Oscar stays fourth, fifth, that's a 10 to 15 point swing. All of a sudden the gap's down to single figures again.
Yep.
And then McLaren have got a real problem because we've got 5 races left. Max is lurking. They can't pick a driver to back because papaya rules and the points are too close. The PR's going to have to go into overdrive at that point because they're not going to know what to do.
They're going to have to give it all the arse-licking lines, aren't they? Jesus Christ. It'd be sickly to listen to.
It already is. That's a very good language. It's sickly to listen to. It really
is. Like I said, I've never had a problem against. I like McLaren. I never had a problem with Zach Brown, but he has just become a PR yes man. And he's almost like Gareth Southgate of the Formula One world. Now we've just got all I need him to do is stand on the track side with a brolly out, and that'll be fucking end it. The head will explode.
But I think we've complained about Formula One enough for 1 week.
We've covered Formula One in as usual joyous attire. What else can we moan about?
I'm going to be joyful about something. England have qualified for the 2026 World Cup. They did it without losing a game.
Did you watch any Premier League? Wow.
We did it without losing a game. Yeah. We did it without conceding a goal.
There was more chance of McLaren finishing last in the Constructors' Championship from now on than England not qualifying. Have we done it without conceding a goal?
Yes. We haven't conceded a goal yet.
What a fucking waste of space that is. Even England have not conceded a goal.
There's only 3 European sides that have not conceded a goal. I think Switzerland and Spain might.
Has anyone played in it? Oh, it's just isn't the whole thing just not pointless?
Well, it is because I've got some other news in a team that's qualified for the World Cup. Cape Verde. No, it's Cape Verde.
Isn't that a holiday destination?
I think it's got a population of 500,000. And somehow they're in the World Cup.
Not near Tenerife.
Yeah, it's down that way. It's off the coast of Africa. It's a bit further down than Tenerife. It's just an island.
How have they qualified? Who have they played?
Oh, no. They play in the African Confederation, I believe.
Ibiza? Have they played all the holiday destinations? So Cape Verde are going to the World Cup? Or they're like
Cape Verde going to the World Cup. Nope, they're in it.
Oh no, I can see another Iceland fucking moment here. We're going to lose to Cape Verde.
Uzbekistan are also in the World Cup.
I mean, I've got a rough idea where that might be because it's Istanbul, but I mean, I couldn't tell you. It's in that region, but yeah. Oh my! I mean, is this the World Cup with the most teams ever? Is this the one, or is this the next one?
Yeah, it's this one. There's going to be 48 teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a farce, isn't it? Why? It's like having a. It's just.
It gets more farcical because we're going to move the kickoff times because the FIFA have realised, quite shockingly, that America in the summer is quite hot. And it might be too warm for the players, so we're not going to play at normal times. So all of the games won't be available in Europe until about 3 a.m.
So it's
great for you. Terrible for the football.
Yeah, fuck you lot. I'm not bothered. As long as I can watch it. So when they gave, when they gave the World Cup to America, they didn't think about this. They weren't concerned about it. It just comes from now, 6 years after awarding it or whatever it was, that it might be warm in America in summer. Yeah.
And apparently the Club World Cup made it quite obvious to them that it's warm in America in summer because they had issues. But the bit that I don't get is we've done a World Cup in America before. 1994 was played there. Baggio, penalty, over the bar, final. Wasn't a problem then. Why is it a problem now? Why
global warming. Blame that. It's got to be, hasn't it? Don't know what aspect of global warming, but we'll blame global warming because it must be that. Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, I mean, they all played all right. No one died, neither did they on the pitch, which is quite ironic. So obviously everyone survived. Just drank a bit of water and, I mean, surely you could play some games earlier in the day, sort of maybe 10, 11 o'clock kickoff, so it's a bit earlier, and play some a bit later in the day, sort of 4, 5 o'clock kickoff. Don't play in the middle of the day if it's an issue. I'm fine with that, but do we really have to move all the kickoffs to night time?
Yeah, so what the plan is, I think they've not
Are
confirmed
all
it, but
games going to be played at the same time?
so instead of doing so historically in the World Cup that's in Europe, you'll have a 2 o'clock game, a 5 o'clock game, and an 8 o'clock game. Then we start doing 4 games a day, so we did 12, 2, 5, and 8. So what the plan is for this, because there's 174 teams in it, they're just going to play everything from like 8 p.m. US time. Sorry, yeah, 8 p.m. US time up forwards to probably 3 a.m. I don't know. I mean, I might get up for breakfast and the game will have started. I don't get it. I'm not really sure because they're saying they can't play it between midday and 5.
To play and kick off after 8 p.m., can you?
Yeah, they're going to do. It's going to be 10, 11 o'clock. Some of the kickoffs at least, maybe even midnight, some of them in America.
Okay. I mean, that's going to be a great spectacle, isn't it? I mean, fans turning up at midnight for a game of football, for a lot of footballers that have been up all day, probably then want to go to bed and just think, well, I've just got to get through this game. It seems, I don't know. I've got nothing to say on it. I'm flabbergasted by the whole thing. The qualifying phase is just a joke. I don't even know why we call it qualifying. It's just a run through. It's like a practice run for some of the teams. And then we're going to play games in the night. I mean, there's an idea. If it's too hot in America to host the World Cup, don't host the World Cup there. Works for me. I mean, or host it at another season. I mean, we moved the other one. We moved the Qatar World Cup because of the weather. Why are we not moving them all now?
Don't know.
You know, so it's too hot in Qatar, so we moved it. Why are we not moving the America one?
12 of the stadiums have roofs, so could be air conditioned. But we're not going to use that. We're just going to play them at night instead. Because
you mean like Wembley's got a roof, but we never shut it. We just let the deluge fall on the pitch, and then 2 hours before kickoff, we can't shut it because of an health and safety issue.
Also, doesn't shut fully. Only shuts partially.
What do you mean it doesn't shut fully?
It only covers one of the stands. It doesn't actually shut.
I didn't know
it's not
that.
a full roof.
Who the fuck designed that?
It's England. Come on. What do you expect?
That's like buying a convertible car that's 4 inch up front and at top. I mean, what the fuck does that do? Jesus. I mean, the only country you do need is a country where it pissing rains 9 months a year. England, you need a proper roof.
Yeah, we didn't get one. We got part of one, so it covers the fans, but that's about it. So yeah, that's
cover the actual playing surface where you need it to be dry because it rains for 5, 6 days at a time.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a thing.
Oh, fantastic. Now we have to solve one problem. Well, I've solved one problem. I asked you who's going to replace Harry Kane when he gets injured. I reckon Danny Welbeck's got as good chance as anyone.
Oh, God.
I mean, he's only 22, isn't he? Or is he 42?
I mean, if I get to a World Cup next year and I see Jordan Henderson and Danny Welbeck, I won't see it because I'll be in bed. But if Jordan Henderson and Danny Welbeck, I can't.
Danny Welbeck's good, isn't it? I mean, Danny Welbeck is the best striker we've got after Harry Kane. 10 years after we decided he weren't good enough to play for a Premier League side. I mean, I'm half expecting John O'Shea to say he's English and come and play in defence for us.
I mean, at this point, why not just get back David Beckham? Bring him Michael Owen. Why not? He's not very good at punditry, so he might as well try playing again.
Yeah, get them all back. Get them off at TV and get them back playing, so I don't have to listen to them then.
But, I mean, the only plus sides I've seen so far, Morgan Rogers looks very good.
Anderson guy.
Anderson needs to leave Forest.
One thing Tuchel can take out of his reign to say he's done. Anderson is a very good player.
Yes.
He played a ball over the top to somebody the other night for England, and it was a pass, way above his sort of where he is. Anderson and Wharton have got to both be in and around there. Declan Rice is obviously going to play. Anderson and Wharton are your other two. They've got to be in there playing at some point, both of them.
I'm going to give Tuchel praise for one other thing as well. He's left Jude Bellingham out of both of the last two squads because basically said, you're not playing and I'm not having it. And I've got to give him his dues on that. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's fine.
Completely agree
Yeah,
with you.
and you've got to deal with these egos, haven't you, when you've got these jobs? I'd say I don't think Tuchel should have the job. He shouldn't be anywhere near it, but he's there now, and we're going to have to deal with it, aren't we? But yeah, he's like we said before, Bellingham's ego's gone way ahead of his ability and his reputation, isn't it? He thinks he's Ronaldo, and he's not. And
Speaking of having a job and people not having a job, Ange Postecoglou doesn't have a job because that lasted all of 6 weeks.
I don't write many notes, but my first note that I wrote was Forest sacked the manager in the summer, and they look like they're going to get relegated. While between me writing that and coming on here, they've sacked another manager. So, I mean, I don't know if it's true what have you read the quote about him, what Postecoglou said about him eating all
Yes,
the
I don't know
food?
how true that is. I
Oh, I
have read
don't.
it.
I read, and then there's been reports that they had a fight in the tunnel yesterday on the way out, and that's why he got sacked, because he didn't go to sack him. He went to tell him how bad the performance were, and they've had a fallout, and then they've ended up scuffling, and Postecoglou's got sacked in the tunnel, which I don't know how true that is. Because when Postecoglou came into his post-match press conference, he looked a bit dishevelled and a bit shook up and a bit, I don't know what was going on. Yeah, he said something about him eating all the food, so all the players have got no energy.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be true.
No, I don't think that's going to be true. But it seems to be everywhere. So whether it's just snowballed or what, but they sacked Nuno because my understanding of sacking Nuno is that Marinakis, that big fat knobhead who thinks he's somebody, ran on the pitch at the end of last season and said something to some people, and one of them was Nuno, and Nuno said something back to him, probably like, "Get off the pitch, you fat fuck. I'm trying to manage a football team here," and he didn't like it. But I said this to you before: if you've got a manager like Nuno doing what he's doing with that squad, they haven't got a great team by any stretch. Doing what he's doing with that squad, and you're the owner, you just have to shut your mouth, swallow your pride, and get on with it, don't you? You have to. Your priority is that club doing well, financially, football-wise, everything, and it was working. So you might not like Nuno. You take him to one side and you say, "Look, I'm your boss. You can't say that to me." But fair dues, get on and do your job. They sack him. So they deserve to struggle now because it's a fucking stupid idea. They've put Postecoglou in. It's been there 39 days and they've sacked him. It's just, I'm lost for words. I know he's only won, hasn't won a game, has it? Has he drawn one, lost an 8?
Yeah.
But they've sold 2-3 of the best players from last season. Last season was a flash in the pan. If they thought they were going to finish 4th this season, then he really needs to give his head a wobble. He's bought none of his own players in. He's got a team full of players from another manager, as we do again, and they've sacked him after 39 days. I can't understand the thinking of these people. It's just crazy, absolutely. And the problem is that the pundits now on TV play into the narrative, don't they? They've gone from, "Oh, it'll be under pressure," and I'm like, why is he under pressure? You can't just. So what they're going to do now? Bring another guy in? So they've had 3 managers in 3 months.
Yep.
Basically.
And then they'll sack him because.
And they're going to think that this is the way to stay. We're going back to David Moyes again here, aren't we, in West Ham? They've got way above the station. They think they're something they're not. And I hope they get relegated. I quite liked watching Forest last season, but I just hope they get relegated. It's just madness. Absolute madness. It's just, yeah. They're just ruining football for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to want that job, though, now, thinking, well Nuno did well, sacked him. The owner's clearly a bit of a psycho. The last guy had 39 days and got sacked. You're going to look at that and go, do I really want this in my life? If you're a reasonably successful football manager, you're going to go, no, I don't.
I'm half expecting them to employ Wayne Rooney next. That sounds like the plausible thing.
Everybody does.
These mental owners that know nothing about football seem to just, the next thing they do when they've sacked a manager for no apparent reason is to play Wayne Rooney. So I'm half reckoning Wayne Rooney rocks up as manager next, or Steven Gerrard, because that's the logical thing to do, employ an ex-player just because they were good at playing football. Shite at managing, but fantastic. I said to him as a manager. Yeah, but he probably won't see the season out. And that's just crazy. I mean, people say, why would you take the job? But I mean, Postecoglou's done 39 days' work and probably get paid about £3 million. I mean, he's on more money than Sheikh Mansour, whatever he's called, isn't it? I mean, 3 million for 39 days is a right payoff, isn't it? A month and a half for 3 million quid. I'll go.
I mean, when you
Great
look at
job.
football management, it's the most ridiculous job in the world, isn't it? You can be sacked for being terrible and make a ton of money for being sacked. It's just
I mean,
insanity.
I've said, I think I've told you the story. I knew a manager that was managing the Championship who I was getting paid by 3 clubs at the same time. He was getting paid by Leeds, Blackpool, and one other club I can't think of the other. And they were all paying him a salary every month because they'd paid him off, but they couldn't afford to pay him up. So they were paying him. So he getting paid off 3 football clubs that sacked him. I mean, this is just bonkers. In no other world do you get paid and you get sacked. It's
just crazy. It's completely.
You're not very good
crazy.
at your job. Oh, no problem. Can you just pay me that 3 million quid you owe me? Yeah, of course I will. No problem. I'll send it you. Send it over later. Off you go. Yeah, madness.
I think we've complained enough for now. So let's move
on.
One
good thing to come out of the weekend was Palace Bournemouth. Did you watch the full? You want to watch the full game, will you? Because was it?
No, that's not available in the United Kingdom to watch football on television.
It is in countries with a functioning set of rules. Probably the best game of football I've watched in a long time. Going back to like last season, was it Real Madrid Atletico or something where they were really good games? And yeah, just an absolute brilliant game of football. 2 really, really good sides. And I thought both sides should have won it or could have won it. But yeah, just to watch it, and if you get a chance to watch any extended highlights, it's definitely worth a watch. Just 2 of the best non-Big 6 sides in the league, just going at it, really. Just a fantastic game of football.
Yeah, I've seen the highlights, and the other games were all a bit drab, I won't lie.
Yeah, they were. I wasn't sure if it was the high of watching that game and then watching, Burnley beat Leeds 2-0 with nothing really happening, or whether it was just the fact that they were rubbish. Oh, Brighton, Newcastle was all right. But
nothing really.
Yeah.
Nothing really excited me. But then at least as we look towards today's games, you've managed to avoid this conversation for 43 minutes nearly. You play Liverpool. They're not looking particularly good. You're not particularly good. What does this bring?
I mean, even the hardest Man United fan can't realistically think we're going to win. We've not won there for 10 years. You would have to argue this is the worst Man United side of that 10 years. Yeah, I mean,
that's a hard list to pick from, to be fair, with how bad they've been.
Well, it is, but it's definitely the worst. At least under Solskjaer, when we're finishing second, we're winning with a bit of form. I mean, we're not going in particularly playing well. There's still a lot of things to sort out. Yeah, Liverpool aren't great, but they are still technically top of the league. And
no, they're not.
Yeah, I mean, well, they were at the start of the weekend. If they win, they'll go back top 1. So, I think if we get a draw, we've done well. I just can't see us going to Anfield and winning, if I'm totally honest. It just, right now, it just seems a massive step too far for us. But again, I worry which Man United turns up. If the Man United turns up that play against Sunderland for 60 minutes, we might do all right. We might get a draw. If the Man United turns up that played against Brentford, I mean, it could be a cricket score. It could definitely be. So, yeah, it's one of them games I suppose you used to look forward to, and now you just dread because so many times we've been touched the cleaners by a moment. So we will, it's not going to be an enjoyable watch, I don't think.
2 seasons ago was 7-0.
Yeah, it was 2-2 last season, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, and 2 seasons ago, I think it was 7-0. So there's a bit of a difference in the 2.
It's going to be between the 2. It's either going to be 2-2 or 7-0. I'm not sure which one. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it's not a game I particularly look forward to the last few years. It used to be, Man U Liverpool used to be a really good game, very competitive, and either team could win. And it used to swing from one side to the other. United win it for 2 or 3 seasons, then Liverpool win it for 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah, I just, like I said, if we win, it would be massive for us, absolutely huge. But I just don't see it, no, realistically, at all.
I don't, but then I also am not confident that Liverpool are going to be that good.
I think we've got a chance at the back against them. They don't seem to have any ability to defend, but are they any worse at defending than us? And they're better up front than us. So, even if it becomes a gun show, they're going to outgun us, aren't they? They've just got too much talent. So it's like we could go and try and nick a draw and be tight at the back. They're probably going to score at home, so that's not going to work. And we can go toe to toe with them like we did last season and really go for them. But there's a good chance they just open us up and run riot through us. So it's a tough one for him to call. Again, it comes down to me how many players in midfield. I think he'll just go with 2, and that's probably where we're going to get run straight through.
I think from a neutral standpoint, that game needs United to score first. Because I think if Liverpool score first, it's kind of a bit dead and buried. But I think if you score first, it puts the pressure on them to come out a bit, and you can then try and play on the counter attack. So I think as a neutral, if I'd got to pick one thing, I want you to score first and then let carnage ensue, because that'd be quite fun.
There will be. I mean, there's going to be. I mean, if they score first, it could be carnage of a different kind, couldn't it? It could be that kind of how many can we score in the next 43 minutes. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to watch it with sort of half open eyes, and if it gets bad, just get an early night.
And then you can get up to F1. So if the football goes horrendously, you can get your sleep then.
Get a bit of sleep in between, then get up for Formula One. Yeah, see some joy. I mean, leads me nicely on to another one of my teams that aren't doing very well, the Miami Dolphins, who are now 1-5.
And I'm not quite sure how.
But one little thing here, and I don't know if you do this. I've never really looked at the NFL table. It's not something I pay a lot of attention to. We're not bottom of our 4-man table.
How?
The Jets are 0-6. So we've got the 2 worst teams in the division in our league, and we're not one of it. We're not actually the worst. That's stunned me, to be fair. Yeah, the Jets are. So I've been watching the new Jets series, which is on, I think it's on Amazon Prime, I'm not sure. And it talks about the Jets when they brought Aaron Rodgers in. They thought they were going to go on to win a Super Bowl. They were all talking hype. You know, we've got a great quarterback now, some good players around him. We could possibly make a push for a Super Bowl. They have a shocking season. And it's even worse this year. They're 0-6. And I was like, that is pretty. I mean, to be in a worse position than Miami is impressive. And you are. You're doing very well. So yes, it was one little ray of sunshine that we are still technically in the fight for a wild card. Although we're gonna have to be one hell of a fight back. But yeah,
to me, you should be kind of 3-3. You lost a game with a last second field goal, and then the other week you were miles in front and managed to find a way to lose. I mean, it's like you just gave up.
21-3 or 21-7 up. But yeah, they just came back and I mean, I've said this to you before. I think NFL at the minute is one of the best sports to watch across the board, mainly because the competitiveness is just so random. Teams win that don't expect to win. And so I looked at who's the best teams in the league at the minute, and they're none of the teams that you would think. I think the Bills are doing well, but they're 4-2. But I think the 2 best sides are the Buccaneers, 5-1, and there's another team at 5-1. I was like, well, yeah, they just come out of nowhere because last season they were both rubbish. So the competitiveness in the NFL
was doing really well.
The Jaguars are playing today. I think they're 4-2, with the Rams are 4-2. But it was 2 teams that are 5-1, and I can't think who they were. One of them was the Colts. The Indianapolis Colts are 5-1 as well. I mean, I don't even know.
Yes, they are.
So the 2 teams that are doing the best. I mean, we're 6 games in, and we were a third of the way through the season already.
Yeah,
or the regular season. And the 2 teams that are outperforming were nowhere last season. And like I said, there's a few, like you said, the Jaguars are doing well. There's a couple of teams, was it the Bears or the Browns? One of them is doing well. Like the Chiefs are 3-3. They're really struggling, having been the best team for the last sort of 2-3 seasons. But it's how America structure their transfer policy, isn't it? It kind of resets every couple of years, because if you're the worst team, you get the best choice next season, and vice versa. So it kind of does.
The Ravens is a big shock.
The Ravens last season were hugely favourites to go a long way, and with the quarterback, the quarterback's injured.
Yes, he is.
I watched him the other day, and he was just a kid I've never heard. I have heard of him, but I didn't know he was there playing for them. So I think obviously when your quarterback gets injured, it massively changes what's going on. But yeah, they're struggling. There's a couple of teams struggling that I mean, you guys are doing all right at the minute, aren't you, the Eagles? But you've had a
No,
couple of dodgy,
hang on, stop. The
couple of
last
dodgy games.
game, we
Rubbish.
couldn't catch,
Couldn't run.
couldn't run,
Couldn't kick.
penalties galore, dropped a punt, threw an interception for a touchdown. I mean, literally everything that you could do badly in an American football game, they just did all in an hour. It was fucking horrendous.
It was. I think that's the, like I said, the other week I watched the Eagles and I thought they were rubbish, and that's twice I've watched them now and thought they've been really poor. Don't expect that. There's not such a good like outfit throughout. Yeah, just a really poor couple of, and the two losses you've had have been really like you've lost them.
Grim.
It's been. I remember you texting me the other week saying when I was watching Miami, saying, "Oh, enjoy," and then I'd watched the Philadelphia game before you, and I thought, "I'm not saying anything. I'll just let him watch it. They're going to get battered."
Oh, and it was a
I like NFL at the minute. I genuinely look forward to watching NFL as much as I do anything else. I think it's a fantastic sport. It's so up and down. It's very American. It's on for like a bazillion hours a game. I have to watch the ad-free versions because I'm sick of watching Bud Light adverts. But as a sport, yeah, it's fantastic to watch, and the stadiums and the crowds. And yeah, while I was in Singapore, I was talking to a New England Patriots fan, and it was over there, and they were talking about like how they sit together in the stand and how they all meet together in the car parks before they have what they call I can't remember what they call them. They have a thing in the car park before the game, and they all meet hours and hours before, and they're all sort of setting. And it's just like a massive event rather than there is a rivalry, but rather than a traditional rivalry in football where everyone just wants to fight each other in a dark alleyway behind the stand. They all want to. There's that banter there between them where they get together and they're giving each other a bit, but they can do it without trying to kill each other or rip their faces off. So yeah, I think as a sport at the minute, it's just up there.
It really is, yeah. And because we've just been positive for about 7 minutes, I'm now going to end this week's episode on a moan, because I can. The FIA president is due to be re-elected this year. You may have not seen this story.
The guy who always says stuff that shouldn't say.
Mohammed Ben Sulayem will be re-elected because he can't have a challenger. There you go. That's a good democratic election for you, isn't it?
He can't because no one's running, or he can't because he said he can't?
He can't because no one's running because they can't. So, there are rules behind the FIA presidential election that you must get backing from 6 vice presidents that you would have that be part of your team. One must come from each region that they have in the world. One of those regions is South America. So you must pick a delegate from South America to run with you as part of your team. There is one delegate available in South America, and she's already backing Ben Sulayem, so nobody else can get one. So that's the end of that.
There's one. How do you decide who's available?
They have to put themselves up to be available, and then they have to be selected by a committee of people who make the decisions of who's allowed to run. And they only picked one, and so he won her, and that's the end of it. So we can't have an election because he's got the only candidate. It's just fucking...
Well, this sounds a legitimate way to pick someone to run your sport. And we wonder why the sport's in turmoil.
So they can't have an election because you've got to have a delegate from every area, and there's only one available.
So, and this doesn't sound like something that's going to get fixed anytime soon.
No, because it was brought in by Ben Sulayem.
Of course it was. Okay, now. So he's going to be president probably for the next 50 years.
But you know the funniest part about this, actually? The rule was brought in, you're going to love this one, to increase diversity and inclusion.
Oh,
how has it? How's that work?
So, well, yeah, what it has increased is the fact that he's stopping there forever. I mean, can't we throw a coup and like overrule him and like send tanks in or something and have him shot? Can't we do that? Can't we send Christian Horner down with a rifle and have him done over? Something,
So you've set up a democratic process to increase inclusion and diversity, and all you've done is turn into a dictatorship.
Have you ever done one of those family tree things where you'll go online and it tells you like who you're related to and young? Do you think he's related to Hitler? think somewhere down the line, his auntie's uncle's dog was Hitler's grandma or something. Because this is very sort of Hitler-like, isn't it? We've kind of
pretty much.
removed all the parties from around me that could threaten me, and we'll have them all disappear into a dark hole.
Yeah, when I read it, I was like, how has this ever become a thing that you can't run an election because you can't actually, you're not allowed to enter? That's it. They've just decided you can't win because you can't be in it.
We need to go back to the drivers all just down in tools, don't we, and not turn up 1 week.
Yeah, something like that, because it's just insanity at this point. It's organised, like you say, it's just an organised dictatorship. He's made the rules so he can't lose.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing he's not doing is killing people. Other than that, he's doing exactly what Hitler did, isn't he? Basically. He's building his own army. He's just not murdering people at the other end of it. He's just, putting everyone on his side.
It's an army of Formula 1 cars.
Yeah. All the people in Formula 1 are now with him because they've got no choice, because you can only have these set of people, and that's it. There's done. Epic.
So yes, I thought I would end on the gripe of mine in the sporting world, because there are always plenty of them for me to pick from. But that one was just especially stupid.
A charmer, isn't he? He's an absolute charmer.
Oh, so once again, we've managed to get through about an hour of being annoyed by everything in sport. We might return next week. We might not. I'm not going to commit to anything. Just in case.
I'm here now until my next trip to the UK, which means I should still be available.
But until then, thank you all, as always, for watching, listening, putting up with this absolutely ridiculous nonsense that we tend to do occasionally weekly, sometimes fortnightly, sometimes once a month. We probably will be back again next week. And until then, thank you all, and we shall speak to you all very, very soon.